Alright guys, we're going to show you a Serratus wall slide today, and we're actually going to show a couple different variations. The entry level version we do, as well as the progressions that we'll use as people get a little bit more advanced. So the reason we work on the Serratus is because it's actually a really important player in terms of scapular upward rotation. So whether you're a thrower trying to get up to a good cock position or ball release position, or you're a general fitness person who wants to overhead press pain-free, it's important to be able to get good upward rotation of your shoulder blades to accommodate those positions. What we often see in a throwing population though is we'll see folks who have very flat thoracic spines, so their upper back is very straight up and down instead of having that normal kyphotic curvature. We'll also see folks where their shoulder blades sit too close towards the midline of the body. So in other words, the shoulder blades will sit right on the spine. So we're going to have Connor kind of demonstrate this. Serratus anterior is really important for getting folks a little bit more abducted / protracted and to drive that scapular upward rotation. What I want you to see in this particular video is notice how flat Connor's upper back is. So it's kind of a straight up and down position, and it actually looks like his shoulder blades are in a really bad spot, but in reality it's just because he hasn't filled up this gap. So when we do Serratus wall slides, we're actually going to do them a little bit different than we normally would with wall slides. Normally we kind of lean into the wall as we go to create that good upward rotation. Here we're actually going to push away from the wall, so he's filling up that upper back and really driving a little bit more of that thoracic curvature. So you'll see that I can't get underneath his shoulder blades like I had previously. So he's going to push into the wall via the valve slides with his forearms, kind of really get that serratus engaged, and then he's going to start to drive some upward rotation. So my cue is I want you to take that inferior medial border, that bottom inside of the shoulder blade, and drive it towards the armpit. He's not going to get quite as high up, and then we're going to slowly control it back down. As we control it back down, I don't want him to bunch together at my finger here at the middle of the back. Instead, I want him to stay kind of out. So we'll drive up. Good. And then we'll drop back down. Again, not pulling down into downward rotation or into that crazy anterior tilt that we would get if we were using a lot of pec minor. Okay? So that's the entry level one. You can also use a towel on a wall if you want to. Eventually, if you want to make this a little bit tougher, we'll actually use a band. So what you do is you basically put it over your thumbs, wrap it around your back, face towards the wall. This is a lot tougher, so we don't usually start folks with this. And again, this is a limited range of motion. Your hands aren't going to be all the way up here. We're just going to fill up that space, push into the wall with the forearms, and start to drive a little bit of movement towards the armpit, okay? Getting that serratus going. A lot of people will actually get a pretty good kind of almost cramping sensation here when they get that serratus going, and then we'll control it down nice and easy, keeping that upper back a little bit more rounded and not pulling the shoulder blades together against my fingers. So usually do sets of 6 to 8 as part of a warm-up. With folks who really struggle with this issue, we may work this in as kind of like a corrective exercise filler between some of their strength training sets, but definitely a good one if you've got a flat thoracic spine or you have shoulder blades that really sit together in kind of that military posture that we'll sometimes see.